In today's video, we're going to be talking about blocks or hindrances that are making you feel that you're not progressing on your spiritual path. We'll talk about 5 or 6 such blockages that will help you understand why you feel you're stagnating. Have you ever felt that you're not making any progress in your awakening journey or self-realization journey, no matter how hard you try? Maybe yoga, meditation, mindfulness, whatever other practices you're doing have kept you afloat so far, but more and more it feels that it's not fulfilling that deep craving, that deep longing that you feel inside of you. Feeling that something fundamental is missing and nothing is really filling up that void. Then this is for you. It is time to realize that temporary solutions are not going to make that happen for you. And if you're someone like me, wandering in the maze of spiritual seeking, wondering why is it that you're not progressing, that this was me a few years back. For 23 years, I walked the maze of spiritual seeking and confusion and not knowing how to find the clarity, because every teaching that I've listened to, every book that I read, they were pointing towards that which I desired, that inherent, they said, deep peacefulness, but I never knew how to find it, so I was seeking for it all this time. And I did not know what I was missing. What did I need to get the clarity that I craved? And that's what this video is about. For you to have the opportunity to check in your own journey, to really check boxes and see what is it that you don't have or it's not working for you. Self-realization is a profound journey, but it's not a smooth one for most of us. Many seekers face challenges that prevent them from experiencing the peace and clarity they long for. In this video, we'll explore some of the key factors that might be hindering your progress and offer insights into how to overcome them. There are several key factors that might be slowing you down or feeling that you are not progressing in your spiritual journey. And it's not about the effort that you put in or the amount of hours that you meditate daily. The real challenge might be in the mental, emotional, and structural barriers that you might not be even realize you are having. So let's unpack the obstacles or the blocks. First of all, the trap of endless seeking. Constantly searching for something outside of yourself can trap you in an endless cycle. The key is realizing you already are what you seek. One of the most common obstacles in the feeling of constantly searching for answers without realizing that seeking itself can become an endless cycle. The belief that something external will bring you to realization often distracts from the truth that you already are what you seek. Do you relate? Do you feel trapped or blocked in a cycle of endless seeking? The way you recognize this is that you feel you don't progress, you feel you're not getting the results that you want, you feel that no matter what you do, it doesn't work really deeply, profoundly, it doesn't really translate into your day-to-day life. It doesn't bring about significant transformation. Then you might be trapped in a cycle of seeking, in a maze of seeking. And the way out of the maze is to realize that you already are that which you seek and turn your attention towards nurturing the knowing of yourself as the presence of awareness that you are. I remember how my journey was. It was dreadful. I was definitely dreading it. Of course, there were beautiful parts to it as well, but for 23 years, which is such a long time, I've been trying and trying and trying to make sense of the teachings, to do my best to do the practices, to meditate every day for at least an hour, do 2 hours of hatha yoga per day, karma yoga, everything that I knew, everything that I received as teaching from the yoga school that I was attending, I've put into practice because I really, really wanted to get there. I really, really wanted to. And of course, because of the fact that the spiritual teachings always tell us to seek for ourselves, give us the techniques, the practices, somehow we don't realize and we lose ourselves in the seeking, and we think that is the way to find ourselves, through seeking for ourselves. But the truth is, the way out of that maze is to realize I am already that which I seek. So if there is a path, that path has to be instant, because I already am that. So all I need is to see myself now. But in order to be able to see myself, I do need to know where to look. So that's where the difficult part for most is, so to speak, even though it's just so obvious and so simple, and that is exactly why we overlook it. Many seekers get caught in the trap of intellectual understanding, where spiritual concepts and theories are mistaken for transformation. This is the realm of accumulating knowledge, reading books, attending talks, and debating ideas, but without truly integrating the teachings into your direct experience. It's easy to confuse knowing about something with knowing it deeply through direct experience. This trap often provides a sense of progress because the mind feels engaged and stimulated. However, self-realization isn't a mental process. It's about moving beyond the mind to rest in its source, in the peace and truth of your pure being. As long as concepts remain disconnected from your lived experience, they become obstacles rather than stepping stones, because they create the illusion of a progress that is not happening. After years of living in this illusion, you don't understand why you are not progressing. And it's frustrating and disappointing, because you thought this is the way. Many people that I've talked to over the years have told me at the end of our conversation, oh my God, I was only in my head about this whole thing. And they could not realize it themselves. They were, however, able to realize it reflected by someone else. So this is a good moment to take as a reflection, to check if you are filled with knowledge, information about awakening, about spiritual realization, but you don't actually have the direct experience of it anchored in your felt understanding of yourself as ever-present infinite awareness. So I'm inviting you to take a look and be really honest with yourself. I remember back in the days when I got to this point in my own journey, at the end of 23 years of seeking, I had to be honest with myself and really admit, finally, that I did not know what I was doing. But it took so much courage to do that, because I've invested so much in my seeking. I was filled up with knowledge. I've just read so many books, listened to so many teachings. We received so many information in the yoga school that I was attending for 23 years. Just imagine, every week we had a new class. So I was filled up with information, as I'm sure you are, but nothing was actually translating in my day-to-day life. So I got to that point where I truly had to admit to myself that I didn't know what I was doing, that this was all just theory that was not reflecting in my day-to-day experience. And the reason why I got myself to do this and to really sit down with myself and be honest with myself was because I truly wanted results. I truly wanted progress, and I couldn't understand why I was not progressing. After consuming so much knowledge and doing all that practice, I was still not seeing significant progress. Of course, there was progress, but not significant in the way that I wanted it. Lasting, definitive. It's easy to get lost in spiritual ideas and philosophies that sound right, but don't provide direct experiential understanding. Reading countless books, attending talks and following teachings can sometimes create confusion rather than clarity, especially when they don't lead to practical, transformative experience. Realizing your true self can't be found in books or ideas alone. It is about the direct experience. So you have to ground your intellectual understanding in your lived experience. Otherwise, it's not going to make a difference, not a significant one, not the one that you actually crave. This is the same thing to say that you are collecting spiritual concepts and theories, mistaking knowledge for transformation. And this is a part of the journey, yes, but it doesn't need to last years and years until you realize what is really happening. While understanding spiritual ideas is helpful, it's not the same as direct experience. Intellectualizing the process keeps you in the mind, analyzing and dissecting it instead of being it. Self-realization cannot be grasped by thought. It must be lived and directly known in the simplicity of being. This over-reliance on intellectual understanding can hinder progress by creating the illusion of advancement while leaving the deeper experiential shifts untouched. The mind feels satisfied with its conceptual grasp of truth, but the heart remains unmoved, untouched, and peace remains elusive. The next trap or block that you might be finding in your own journey is feeling but not being. One of the most insidious traps on the path of self-realization is mistaking deep emotional experiences or fleeting states of peace for true being, for true realization. You might have moments when you feel connected, expansive, or even blissful during meditation, retreats, or spiritual practices. While these feelings can be powerful, they are still transient experiences arising in awareness, not awareness itself. The trap lies in clinging to these feelings or using them as proof of progress. This can create a cycle of chasing after spiritual highs, mistaking emotional states for the deeper, unchanging truth of who you are. True being is not a fleeting experience. It's the silent, stable presence that remains even when those feelings fade. To move beyond this trap, you need to shift your attention from what you feel to the one who is aware of those feelings. This is the difference between being caught in waves on the surface and resting as the vast ocean beneath. Over the years, I had many talks with people around this topic, as you can imagine. It was my only passion in life and still remains to this day, to uncover the secrets of spiritual realization, to uncover the shortest path without bypassing and without fluff, excess. So many times in these talks, I've discovered that people were mistaking feeling peace, feeling joy, feeling love for being peace, love, joy. It's a final step that actually creates the shift from feeling or being in your understanding a separate self to actually being infinite awareness. And that final last step is from feeling peace to being peace. From feeling to being. This is such a subtle nuance that makes all the difference when you recognize. So if you're someone who knows what I'm talking about, because you know your experience all too well, this will definitely help you anchor your awareness as the ever-present presence of awareness in your day-to-day life. Always when you catch yourself just simply feeling peace or joy, shift that experience into being peace, joy, love. I wrote a few words down from my own experience, and this is what I wrote. You think you are there. You think you are progressing on your spiritual path only because you meditate or practice spiritual practices for more hours than before. You put in your heart and soul into everything that you do. But in reality, you see no significant shift in your life. And you keep doing what you learned to do because you think that the more dedicated you are to your practice, the more it will show. It will be a reward for this somewhere at the end of the tunnel or on the other side. So we accumulate doing, and we think that that's what's gonna bring about the shift in perception or perspective. And we're just finally going to see. That might happen, but this is not the path that leads to that. Seeking is not the way. That's what I used to do, and that's what I used to believe. That's why I put all my effort into that, and I actually moved in an ashram to only do that. But then I realized that at the end of my 23 years of seeking, that I was not getting anywhere. That was something I could not admit easily after all that effort that I put in. But I had to if I wanted to move forward. So this might be your moment for that. So how to overcome this one is to really sit down with yourself, take a look at your journey and accept where you are. Accept if you're not knowing what you're doing or where you're going, just embrace that, admit that to yourself. That's gonna be such a relief because it really opens up the way for the truth to enter. It opens you up to change the trajectory of your journey. Another trap that you might find on your path or block is resistance to emotional healing. I've talked to so many people, and so many of them have actually had resistance to even signing up to study with us, to take this deep dive with us inside the Seekers Academy, because they were fearing that they will be exposed. And I truly understand this. I was in that spot for so many years, so there's absolutely no judgment here. There are parts in us that we are hiding from others, that we are also hiding from, that we think they are to be hidden, to be hidden because they're shameful, they're guilty, they're angry, they're hopeless, helpless, whatever it is. And we hide away from them. And that in itself, the resistance to open up, to see and to recognize and to embrace those parts of you that are in pain, that are holding pain, that are holding suffering, that are holding separation, isolation, aloneness, feelings. If you do not embrace them, they act as blocks in your self-realization process. So the very resistance to opening up, to embrace, to see, to accept, to love these parts of yourself are blocks in themselves, because emotional healing is a huge part of the self-realization journey. You cannot avoid it. You cannot bypass it. You cannot go around it. It's just not possible, because they are part of you. They're parts of yourself. And basically, self-realization is peeling off these layers of conditioning, which are also called in the spiritual traditions the veils of ignorance that prevent us from seeing the truth, seeing the reality as it is. So we want the emotional healing, and there is a very simple way to do it, but we need to be willing to do it. So where are you on that? The unhealed emotional wounds can create invisible blocks, making it hard to ground in peace. Self-realization is about embracing and healing your emotional selves. Many seekers avoid dealing with emotional wounds or challenging feelings, mistakenly thinking they will disappear once realization is achieved. However, emotional baggage can act as a heavy barrier that keeps you from fully embracing peace and clarity. And that's exactly what I thought in my process. I thought I don't have to deal with them, because once I've realized myself, they will just miraculously disappear. They don't. They continue to be there after realization happened, after you've realized who you are. And then that is the grounding process, because what makes all the difference is not the moment of realization when you finally saw who or what you are, but the grounding process. And emotional healing is a huge part of that. The next block that we're going to talk about here is lack of structure and guidance. Without clarity and structure, you might feel lost. A clear framework is essential to move through the spiritual maze with confidence. Without clarity and structure, it's easy to feel lost or stuck on the path. Seeking realization without a clear framework can lead to confusion, frustration, and stagnation. So, do you have clarity and structure on your self-realization journey? Do you understand what is the journey truly about very clearly? What are the stages? How to navigate them? And do you have a structure for that? A structure to meet every moment of life with this intention, with this attitude, to just stand as your true self, no matter what life brings you. This is a moment to check if you have that clarity, where you are, where you're going, what is the path, how does the entire path look like, what comes next, and how to get there, how to handle the whole journey, how to walk the entire path completely knowingly, completely at peace, knowing exactly what you're doing, where you're going, where you are, and what is the path. Isn't that a relief only just to hear? I know that I was definitely craving this in my journey back in the days, but I wasn't clear that I was craving this. I had no clarity about what I was missing, and the reason why I didn't know what I was missing was because I deeply believed that I had to struggle and fumble and figure it out myself, because that's what's gonna get me the reward. And that is a misunderstanding. Another block on your self-realization journey, awakening journey, might be expectations of outcomes and attachments to outcomes. But this is mostly about ideas, beliefs that we have about how the awakening journey should look like, and how am I supposed to conduct myself as a spiritual seeker. There's a lot of baggage that it's called beliefs around this that we don't even realize. We think them to be true, but they're actually just blocks, paravents, walls that prevent us from seeing the truth, that the self-realization journey is absolutely unique for everyone. We might go through the same generic struggles and stages, but intimately the journey is incredibly unique, and that is actually its beauty. There's no clear set recipe about how intimately for yourself this journey should be. Yes, we have a structure, we have a clear understanding of the map and the navigation tools, but then you are the one experiencing this journey, and those experiences are unique to yourself. So let go of any expectation around any outcome. Let the journey unfold freely. Once you've established yourself as infinite awareness, and then started to stabilize that understanding, felt understanding, lived experience, and then ground that. So the next one is coming naturally, the lack of integration into day-to-day life. That is something that, and of course these all tie up together, essentially is about the same thing. Not knowing how to be who you are, just see who you are and ground that understanding, felt understanding in your day-to-day life. Meaning, repeat that experience at will until it no longer goes away, until you no longer lose it. So everything ties in together, and the lack of integration in your day-to-day life is the lack of grounding your felt understanding of yourself as ever-present, infinite, unconditionally fulfilled awareness in your day-to-day life, thinking, feeling, acting, behaving, relating. That's what's missing. That's what you are missing. Grounding the ever-present peace and clarity and simplicity of your own being in your day-to-day life, so that you no longer feel dragged away by the challenges of life. having that background that you can rely on every time. The transformation, breaking through the barriers. In this next part, we're going to discuss strategies or insights that can help you move past these roadblocks and showing you how they can lead to breakthrough moments. The first step is recognizing that the seeking mind is a part of the problem. Self-realization is about aligning with your inner truth rather than endlessly searching for something outside through other means. Healing emotional pain will get out of the way the blocks, making room for the peace and clarity that come with deeper self-awareness. Finding a structured approach. Like the 4-pillar compass that is the foundational basis of all of the courses that we're offering inside the Seekers Academy, helps give you your journey clarity and direction so that you no longer feel lost. By releasing attachment to specific outcomes, you open yourself to experiencing the truth of the moment without the expectations. To make this more easier for you, let's just make a checklist, because there are just 4 essential things that you need for your self-realization process that will take care of everything else. Number 1, a map. This is the 4-pillar compass that lies at the foundation of our Out of the Maze programs that we're offering inside the Seekers Academy. So number 1 is, the first pillar is the map. The map allows you to have clarity about the journey. What is the journey? What does the journey look like? What are the stages? What are the stages that you are going to go through? And which stage are you at right now in your understanding, in your realization? That is immensely valuable because it gives you a reference to where you are, where you need to be, where you're going, and what to do to get there. What to do to get there is pillar number 2, the method, which shows you how to ground your self-realization, how to be yourself and ground that felt understanding of yourself as infinite awareness in your day-to-day life. Number 3 is an emotional healing methodology, the simplest, purest one that I called integration. So pillar number 3, integration. In order to integrate your realization in day-to-day life, you can also do emotional healing to contribute to this process of grounding your realization. Pillar number 4 is mastery, meaning having an overall understanding of the journey, the tools that you have at hand, which is method and integration, the map that you had, and put it all together to navigate the journey seamlessly, flawlessly, coherently, with confidence and peace, knowing that you are on the right path, you know where you're going, you know where you're at, and you know how to get to the next stage. So, do you have the map, clarity, understanding your process? Do you have a method that allows you to trace your way back to yourself in any circumstance at will? Number 3, do you have a very simple, very effective, very clear emotional healing methodology to apply whenever a trigger happens, something happens that triggers a pain, a suffering inside you? And 4, do you have an overall understanding of how to navigate your journey with clarity, with simplicity, with ease? If you don't have one of these, take a look and see what you don't have and what do you actually need. This will make you progress in an incredibly fast way, and it will give you the peace of mind that you know what you're doing and you are on the right path, so you no longer need to seek. The 4-pillar compass is the base of every single offering, every single program that we have inside Seekers Academy. We have 3 levels of teaching or levels of engagement. Of course, the level of engagement of yourself is going to give you the level of depth of transformation in your life. So we have the Seeker's Compass, which is a self-learning course. You just get the course, the whole entire curriculum with structure and guidance and guided contemplations. You get the whole course, you learn it yourself, you have the basics, you can go back to every single time when you feel you got lost and you need to go back to the compass. So Seeker Compass offers the entire curriculum of the Academy. It's not long, it's only 4 modules with short lessons for each module to ground each stage of understanding. You have the overall explanation. It's really the distilled understanding of the whole process that I have reached, and I'm giving it to you. The Seeker's Compass. It's easy. If this is something you want, go there, grab it. Seeker's Retreat, again, has the whole curriculum. That's the base foundational classes for each program that we're offering. That includes the 4-pillar compass, of course, and grounding practices that we're doing together there. In the retreat, you also receive, besides the weekly calls, you also receive 2 one-on-one sessions if you sign up. This retreat happens only twice a year, in spring and in autumn. So make sure you grab your seat now for the next retreat. It's only a 3 months retreat, 12 weeks. And our deep dive, which is called Seeker's Mastery. It's a 9-month deep dive. It's our academic year, happens only once a year, obviously. And that's where you have the whole entire curriculum, but then we have a deep dive throughout the 3 trimesters that we go through with each stage to deepen our understanding, to perfect our mastery, so that when you leave this place, you are very confident in your skill, your understanding to navigate your journey with ease and grace. Self-realization isn't about achieving something you don't have. It's about removing the barriers that keep you from recognizing what's always been there. By embracing the obstacles on your path and understanding them as part of the process, you'll find the clarity, peace, and truth that you've been seeking all along. The journey of self-realization isn't about acquiring something new. It's about removing the layers of confusion, resistance, and distraction that keep you from recognizing your true essential nature. By addressing these common blocks, you can move closer to the peace and clarity that you are longing for. So I'm inviting you now to take a moment and truly reflect on your journey. What is it that you are missing? Go ahead and take a look. Are you trapped in the maze of endless seeking? Are you consuming spiritual concepts, ideas, theory, but without direct experiencing? Keeping yourself in mere intellectual understanding without grounding your understanding in your everyday life? Are you just feeling but not being? Do you have resistance to emotional healing? Do you lack structure and guidance, in other words, clarity? Do you have any attachments to outcomes and ideas about how the path is and how you should be as a seeker on the path? Do you experience a lack of integration in your day-to-day life? These are all blocks, hindrances that might keep you feeling that you're stagnating in your awakening journey. So now go ahead and look at that checklist. Do you have a map, a method, an integration method, healing method, and the mastery of it all. If not, and this speaks to you, you are welcome to join us for the Seeker's Mastery that begins in February. Last sign-up day is January 31st, and the early bird is applied by December 31st. So you can benefit from the early bird price if you sign up by December 31st. The places are limited for each academic year deep dive, which is the Seeker's Mastery, only to 20 people. Go ahead and grab yours if this is something that you want to do for yourself for the new year. It's just such a beautiful period in the year to really stir your path towards grounding your realization finally. Go to the link below this video to find the program that you like. Thank you for taking the moment today to reflect on your challenges on the path. And I am grateful for this because we can change the world one realization at a time. And I appreciate you being here for that.